Hello, this is Bryce Prince with Brandon Hillhouse, and welcome to Sports Square Television.
For the second time in 3 years, the Boston Celtics and the Lakers are matching up again in the finals. With more on this matchup, we hand it over to Bryce Prince, our basketball expert. So, Bryce, what do you think about the point guard position in this series?
Well, I think that the Boston Celtics obviously have the advantage in this matchup just because Rondo is so versatile. He can rebound, he can pass, he can make his shots, and he dives to the floor. Whereas Fisher, he occasionally makes clutch shots, but overall, Rondo has the advantage in this one.
Okay, but one thing Fisher does have is more finals experience. Do you think that comes into play at all?
This will come into play because Fisher will know certain situations that will need to be handled, and he'll know how to handle them correctly.
All right, well, this one seems sort of obvious, but how about the shooting guard position of Ray Allen and Kobe Bryant?
Well, obviously, the best player in the league, Kobe Bryant, has the advantage over Ray Allen. Ray Allen is a good three-point shooter, but he's off from night to night, especially now that he's in his older years. Kobe, even through these injuries, he's been able to average like 33.7 points a game as he did versus the Phoenix Suns. So obviously, Kobe is the matchup advantage here.
Can't agree more. Now, this one is truly sad, but we're going to compare it anyway. Paul Pierce against Ron Artest.
Ron Artest, from night to night, he'll have an okay night, but overall it's going to have to go to Paul Pierce because Paul Pierce, he's got so much experience and he is a little more consistent than Ron.
Than Ron?
Yeah, Ron.
Ron, okay. How about Pau Gasol and Kevin Garnett?
I'm actually going to have to give this advantage to the Lakers.
Really? Why?
Because Gasol has been the best player in the playoffs this year so far. Even better than a LeBron James, who could not make it out of the second round versus these Boston Celtics. Gasol he knows what he needs to do. He's averaged about 20 points per game, and he's playing really well.
Now, last time this series happened, Kevin Garnett absolutely owned Gasol. Do you think Gasol is tougher now than he was the last time these teams met in the finals?
Since they've met, Gasol has worked out a lot. He's a lot bigger. You can see him going into players more rather than fading away. So I see Gasol easily dominating this matchup, and I see Garnett having a hard time playing against such a versatile center.
Okay, now we're moving on to the centers. Two of the centers here who really, at least in my mind, who really aren't going to be big in the series, but I think Andrew Bynum could be. Now, who do you think is better here in this situation, Andrew Bynum or Glenn Perkins?
Well, this is an even matchup because Bynum is hurt. Now, if Bynum wasn't hurt, I would probably give the advantage to the Lakers just because Bynum knows how to play the center position better than Perkins does. However, Bynum's going to have an effect on the series. If he can play well with his torn meniscus and his knee, then I think that the Lakers could possibly dominate inside the paint more than they did against the Suns.
Yeah, and if you don't know, he has two injuries in that same knee. The torn meniscus, as Bryce said, he also tore his MCL, which is a tendon on the outside of the knee that is also hindering him in these playoffs. And for this point, him playing is quite remarkable and shows a lot of tenacity. So let's move on to the sixth man here, and in this case, it would be Rasheed Wallace, our favorite character in the world, against Lamar Odom, who is arguably the best sixth man in the league. Finals. So I'm probably not doing Manu Ginobili, but I want to hear what you think about this matchup here.
Well, this matchup's truly even because although Lamar Odom is a very versatile big man, he also is inconsistent, just like Ron Artest, maybe a little bit more consistent in that situation. But if Lamar Odom plays well, then the Lakers play well. This has been proven time and time again. If Lamar Odom can get to the rim, make his shots, make his free throws, then the Lakers will have an easy time against the Celtics because he will jumpstart the bench for the Lakers. And he also provides a good substitution for Andrew Bynum when Andrew Bynum, such as recently, has been getting into foul trouble quite easily.
Now, do you think the benches are going to have... I mean, who's the better bench in this case? Is it the Lakers, who really have sort of like a up-and-down bench, or the Celtics, who might have one or two spark plugs like the Nate Robinson coming off the bench, or Rasheed Wallace, who can shoot his threes?
I would have to say it's even, sort of, because if the Lakers bench plays well, like they have the capability of, again, the Lakers are unstoppable if their bench is playing well, because from time to time they'll score 30 or 40 points off the bench, but if they don't play well, then they often hinder the Lakers. and they often give up big leads that cause the Lakers to have to put it back in their starters and have to build up a lead again. And Boston, they do have a couple spark plugs, but they do play consistently, probably averaging about 20 points a game. So I would have to say that it's an even matchup, and it all depends on how the Lakers bench plays this series.
Now, let's move on to predictions here. I want to hear what you predict for the series.
Well, I think it'll be the Lakers in 6, just because Boston won't lose on their home floor at first, but the Lakers will take one away from them at their place, and then they will come back and win it on the 6th game. I think the Lakers take their home games, and then they take one of the 3 games in Boston, and then they come back to Game 6 and clinch the series, and there's that. What do you think, Brandon? What do you think this series will come out to be?
I totally agree with you. I think 6, but I will also say 7.